What is up, everyone? Welcome to the FOMC live stream. Sorry, I know I've been promising an FOMC intro song for a long time, and it's still not here. So this is all I got for you, my friends. Just my voice of reason. We've got about 15 minutes until the data release. We've got the S&P and the NASDAQ currently in a little pullback. S&P is up 14, NASDAQ is down 14. Russell is up 10, Dow's up almost 300. Dow is the strongest of the bunch, NASDAQ the weakest, primarily due to our friend Google. Apple is red as well. Google is down 8%. I looked it up earlier. Google has about twice the weight in the NASDAQ as it does the S&P. It's got about 4.1% weight of the S&P 500 and almost 8% of the NASDAQ. So that's kind of the main reason. Gold is down almost 1%. Silver's down almost 2%. Notes and bonds are green. 10-year yield is down 0.67%. Oil down 1.25%, natural gas up 3.75%. Soybeans and wheat are flat, I guess. I'm showing zero movement. Yeah, I guess they are flat. There it is. Corn's down about 1%. Euro and the pound both down 0.33%. Bitcoin up almost 2%. VIX is down 1.3, currently at 24.42. As far as my day goes, I did the two creens that I posted. I actually did one other one that I didn't post because I think I kind of knew it was not a good thing to do, so I didn't want anybody following me, and I immediately closed it out pretty quickly for a small profit. So the main one made $1,500. The second one, which was not a good trade. I mean, I don't mind the entry, but I took way too much heat. Luckily, we bounced back, and I scratched a profit on that, and then the third one, small profit. Day trading, did a couple of small scratch trades in the live stream, and then did a couple others here. Oops. Let's see, the ones in the live stream, I took a Mighty 90 and Hood, ended up closing that early because I didn't like the price action, small scratch, and then Bitcoin, upside runner, book profits on the first part, and then had a big sell-off, but was able to scratch out a profit on that one. Took an upside runner in JP Morgan, market flushed, banks did not. JP Morgan was the strongest, so caught a little. These are little scalps, 142 on that. Another little upside scalp on Meta for 340. Upside scalp on SPY, that was a loser. So plus, and then Google. I'm in some Google puts right now. Had that pretty decent bounce, and then just trying to catch a little down move. I'm currently in a bit. I'm going to take those off before FOMC here. So that is it. AMD and PLTR. PLTR needs a massive move up. AMD needs a pretty decent move up for our earnings butterflies. So if Jerome could help out with that, that'd be nice. I'm going to enter my FOMC Iron Condor here in about 5 minutes. By the way, I've done this a couple times, and I'm going to do it today, but please, if you're kind of new to this, I would not suggest it. But I'm not going to use a stop on my FOMC Iron Condor, but I'm just going to go in with reduced size. You can just get some, whippy price action that could stop you out pretty easily. But you're taking on, pretty decent risk without a stop too. So just manage at your own risk. But that's just telling you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to do small size. I'm going to do a 3 lot. And then just not use a stop. So that's my plan for today. Guess I better turn on the TV so I can see what kind of tie Jerome is wearing. Data release in less than 10 minutes. I'll enter my Iron Condor in about 5. Django, so the way that I manage that is I take half off at it's on the back test. What is it? I take half off at 30%, and then I close the rest before the press conference starts at about 2:25 Eastern. Remember, purple tie is bullish. Anything else is bearish, I think is how it works. Yep, and then I'll do the long strangle after the press conference starts. Oh, a little down move. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of my Google puts here. Well, maybe I'll wait. Getting a little dicey. A little pop in the VIX. This down move does not look like it's being led by Google. No, I'm not really sure. In fact, I think I will not enter my Iron Condor at this point. Not thinking I want to mess with that garbage. Trump Daddy's on the mic? Oh yeah, sure is. right, Trump Daddy is off the mic. All right, so we've got 4 minutes till data release. I'm just not sure, but I want to jump in here. I think I'm going to pass, my friends. Well, I was only going to do 3. So, quit trying to peer pressure me, Elliot. No, I'm gonna be a good boy and just not do anything. Chad's in. What are you in, Chad? I'm gonna sit here and eat my chili that I made myself for lunch, and I forgot about on the stove. It was boiling. I'll just commentate. Chad's in the 25 puts, 55-20 puts, 56-70 calls. It's pretty wide. Okay, fine. I'm doing a 1 lot. We bounced a little bit at the bottom of that bar, so makes me comfortable. Really, really comfortable. I am in the 30 puts, 75 calls. Let me get that posted. All right, posted that in the 0 DTE trades channel. I'll go ahead and post it here for your viewing pleasure as well. I am going to remove my stop. Let it ride. By the way, for giggles, I kept my crane modeled. It's currently, I got out it for $3 profit at 80.10. It's currently at $89. I booked 1,500. It's up almost 6K. Yes, sir. I just manually, because I close half at 30% profit. Yes. So have you reduced position size yet on the bot with the little down arrows? Yep. All right, data release in 10 seconds. Here's SPY on my left here, so see what happens here. Initial move down, then back up. Getting some quick little decay coming in. It's up 8%, 11%. I knew I should have done more contracts, Elliot. Just wasn't that nice, calm, warm, fuzzy feeling going into the announcement that I like to see. I'll probably just, well, if I get up over 30%, I'll probably just close it, but I'll probably hold it pretty close to the presser starting. As expected, the Fed leaves rates unchanged. But it's all about what he says. Iron Condor's up 16%. Not too much movement here. Major loser, Dave. Major loser, I believe, was the actual comment. Up 20%. Wow, this is one of the quicker decays on an FOMC Iron Condor I've seen. Looking around the board, most stocks kind of just acting like the indices. Look at that grin on JP. Got his purple tie on. Yep, same. Yeah, I like JP as a Fed chair. He's been super, like, compared to, like, I didn't really pay attention. I was too early in my career to really pay attention to Alan Greenspan. Bernanke, Yellen. Who was after Alan Greenspan? Was it Bernanke? Or is there somebody else in between? Anyway, Bernanke and Yellen and Powell are really the three that I remember in my trading career. And I like JP, man. Like, he's super transparent and kind of, as far as like kind of telling you what they're going to do, what they plan to do, compared to the others. JP's the man. I think he's a good Fed chair. Iron Condor's up 25%. Man, that was fast. He jumped in with another one. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. After there wasn't any crazy move initially, it's not a bad idea to kind of jump into another. Getting a little down move now. S&P through lows. Not a crazy move, but NASDAQ through lows. Amazon pushing lower. Tesla through lows. Okay, now we're getting a little movement. And my Iron Condor. Yeah, Iron Condor. Now it's red. Wow. Huh, that's kind of a little delayed sell-off. That was weird. And I'm back up 15%, just like that. Heading lower again. S&P through yesterday's lows. Same with NASDAQ. Russell just went red. Bitcoin moving lower. Can we get a bounce? I was just saying, what you don't want to do is if the data comes out, scale into additional positions, Elliot. Nvidia pushed through lows, Tesla and Apple's back at lows. Google not at lows. Coinbase at lows. All right, here comes the bounce. Just like that, back up 18%. Come on, a little more. Little more baby bounce. Back in the red. What long lines are you talking about on my chart? The long lines. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Matrix. I don't have an SPX chart up. Here's a 5-minute chart of SPX. Clarify what you mean here. The market maker move. So it's currently at 41. Yeah, sorry, I'm sure not. I'm still not quite sure what you're asking about. So here's a chart of 5-minute SPX. What exactly are you asking? The long chart. That's what price moved in that 5-minute period. Right, so SPX at the start of that 5-minute bar was 56.13, hit a low of 55.78. Is that what you're talking about? Just the price bar? Yeah, so when you're looking at a chart, each bar represents the move in that period. I'm looking at a 5-minute chart. If I was looking at a daily chart, each one of the bars represents the movement in a day. If I'm not answering your question correctly, let me know. Okay, so yeah, I mean the market's just supply and demand. So on that bar, on that big move down, that's just literally more sellers than buyers. So that's why you see if, some news comes out like we saw on Google this morning. So here's a 5-minute chart of Google. And you can see it was just kind of chopping along. The first 5-minute bar had, usually has the biggest spike in volume of the day a lot of times. So you can see the volume kind of drop down, and then all of a sudden this news came out and boom, just sellers came into the market like crazy because it was an unexpected announcement around Apple potentially not using Google, not using Google anymore. And so anyway, that's just, yeah. I mean, it's supply and demand of all sellers and buyers, not just institutional. But institutional obviously is a higher percentage of the moves typically, except for GameStop. All right, so it's still trading near the lows. Iron Condor still a little bit red. Mine's down 3%. Presser starts in about 12 and a half minutes. So the price of the market represents buyers and sellers. It represents all known information at that specific second. If something comes out that was unexpected or unknown, that's a lot of times what creates a bigger movement in the market or an individual stock or whatever. Google, I don't know if you heard me at the beginning, but Google represents almost 8% of the NASDAQ and a little over 4% of the S&P 500. So, that move down in Google, weighed pretty heavy on the indices as well. Iron Condor's up 10%. And the market will, on big moves most of the time, the market's going to overreact in one direction, correct itself, overreact in the other direction, correct itself. It's just human emotions at play. It is human emotions at scale for your eyes to see. Iron Condor, we're back up 20%. The market is just one big microcosm of human emotion. I know. I was wondering what took you so long. $25%. Let's go up just a little bit more. If we get right to center, so if we get up to, call it 56.05, I'll be out. Got 8 minutes for the presser. Russell tried to get back in the green, couldn't do it. $30 Delta Strangle, currently trading for about $20. So you're looking at about $2,000 per lot. I don't know if I want to do that. If anything, I'll do one lot, but yeah, I'll probably just do one lot. I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, I'm going to scratch out a $100 winner on this trade. Lunch money. Made some lunch money and some dinner money for day trading. I got lunch for tomorrow now, too. I mean, if I take a full loss on a $2,000 long strangle, that'll basically wipe out my profits for the day. I don't really like the idea of that. Well, I'd only make 35% of that 2,000, so I wouldn't double. Could take away all my profits or add about 800. All right. Yep. Close time. Closing mine looks like it's going to be for around 20%-ish. In at 550, out at 450. 18% on a one lot. Naughty Dog, I don't know. I don't know if I want to listen to you. You got my hopes up with Bix yesterday and then just crushed my dreams. I'm not sure. All right, SPX still bouncing. $25 calls, 70 puts, 30 delta strangle, about 1850. Presser starts in about 90 seconds. The long strangles typically entered 5 minutes after the presser starts. Let me see here. How's it been doing? Hasn't been great. Looks like it kind of peaked in April of 24. It's been kind of steadily going down as far as the backtest performance. Do one lot here in about 5 minutes. Press conference should be starting here shortly. regular iron condor. Interesting. S&P trying to go green again. Russell just went green. Meta's staying pretty strong. It's still close to, well, it's right at yesterday's high, close to highs of day. Tesla catching a nice bounce off yesterday's lows. Oh yeah, purple tie. Initial move is up since the presser. VIX is getting crushed. Cheaper and cheaper as we speak. 1 minute till entry time. Right back up to where we dropped. Bitcoin rallying. Stocks popping, not Google. Google's staying weak. All right, going in. Going in, 30 Delta Long Strangle, 1 lot. Oops. Filled at 1750 on the 35 calls, 85 puts. Posted in here in the chat as well. I'm just Johnny One Lot today, MRP. I just don't feel like trading size today. Just looking for lunch money. All right, so here it is. 1750 of risk. Need to get to about if we get to 5580 quickly on the downside, or about 5640 plus on the upside quickly, that would hit. And the longer it takes, the further we have to go. Yes, and the downside is also possible, Krish. NASDAQ is close to going green. That purple tie is amazing. Is there any? I'm trying to see if there's any day trading I might want to get involved in here. I wonder if Google's going to move down more if this thing drops. It's definitely not participating in the bounce. Meta ticked through highs of day. Just sitting here, letting some premium decay. No big deal. Now we're going to need to get to about 55.73 to the downside. Maybe around 56.47 to the upside. Wow, it's kind of aggressive, Moel. Bitcoin pulling back a little bit. Stocks still holding the bounce. Meta appears to be the strongest of the big boys, above yesterday's high. I'd like to see what Meta does if the S&P and NASDAQ pull back here. Hood is also making a nice little bounce. S&P back to unchanged. Trying to stay green. NASDAQ never quite got back to positive. All right, S&P going red. Meta did not hold. Nothing really holding here. Banks coming down hard. This is a juicy little down bar. SPX needs to get down to about, let's say 55, down in the 55.70s to hit. Currently at 55.92, so need another 20 points down quickly to hit to the downside. Quick little bounce. Sorry guys, just kind of looking around, seeing if there's anything that jumps out at me from a directional standpoint. Yeah, I'm okay with politics as it relates to trading, but any of the, some of the complaining and name calling stuff. We got MAGA for life in here. We've got vote blue no matter who. So opinions about what you think are not really relevant. I've had a few complaints lately, so let's keep it trading. Keeps acting like he wants to go lower, but little dips are getting bought up a little bit. All right, JP, you about done with questions? Sometimes we get a nice move after the questions are over, so let's wrap it up, JP. We've got an hour and 4.5 minutes till the bell. Still get $3 strikes for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Still get 75 wide. Elliot, you trading Elmos today? Getting a little bounce. S&P back in the green. Long strangle right back to center. Not what I want to see. You want a hedge for the long strangle? I think it's called a strangle. An iron condor. Ooh, nice little bounce here. Only need 30 points more on the S&P to the upside. Expected move is about 30 points. So there we go. What did JP say? I'm not listening to him. You say something. You say something awesome. Meta through highs of day. Microsoft through highs of day. Big bounce in Microsoft. Even little Google bouncing a little bit. Tesla going green. We're going to need above 56.50 to the upside. Currently at 56.27. Netflix hit a new all-time high today. It's creeping back up towards that area. All right, guys, I'll be back in 1 minute. Hopefully profit target will be hit when I come back. All right, little pullback. NASDAQ back in the red. All winners, Watson. All winners. only thing that's putting a damper on my day is this long strangle, which I debated on doing. But we've got an hour. It's a long time. JP's still taking questions, it looks like. So the long strangle was entered here at 1:35, 2:35 Eastern. So yeah, it's just barely off center now. Those little moves weren't near big enough. And now, as long as we've been in it, SPX is going to have to get about to 56.55 to the upside. Probably 55.67 to the downside. So it's going to have to be a pretty sizable move. I don't really see any stocks showing much relative strength or weakness here. They're kind of flowing like the indices. So as far as earnings go, after the market today, we've got AppLovin, Carvana, ARM, Piton, and Shopify pre-market tomorrow. I mean, AppLovin's options aren't bad. They're about $1.20 or so wide, but $300 stock. Carvana, those options aren't bad either. DoorDash. Those options used to be pretty wide. Let's see. Yeah, they're a little bit wide. Disney? Well, Disney's up 10.5. It had earnings this morning. Yeah, they had earnings. Pre-market. I was listening to Bob Iger. I guess better than expected. Attendance at their parks was kind of the biggest driver, it sounded like. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were talking a lot about that, too. In Abu Dhabi. Coinbase and DraftKings and Affirm after the bell tomorrow. I'm not going to do anything on these. NASDAQ holding on to the green, right at unchanged. We need JP to get off the mic. He's holding it back. Little dip, little pullback. Little dip's getting bought up again. Just now starting power hour on a normal day. Pretty choppy action for an FOMC day for sure. I mean, we basically have the same kind of range as we've had the last 2 days. Pre-FOMC days tend to be tighter ranges with expansion on FOMC day, but not so far, although we've still got 40 plus minutes. You can't rattle JP. It's tough. I've never seen JP rattled. Time for my Celsius of the day. Raspberry acai green tea. What would be awesome if Trump came running into the presser, grab the mic. Now that would be good. That would be good fun right there. That would most certainly make our strangles profitable. All right, JP exits. Oh, it looks like maybe mine's a little bit delayed. You already said that. All right. All right, let's move now. I kind of want to take some calls in meta here, but it's been holding above yesterday's high, right near highs of day. I'm going to take a small position here, meta. I'm going to get some 600 calls in meta. Move below yesterday's high, I'll cut. These little dips keep getting bought up. NASDAQ is sitting at unchanged. S&P and Russell are green. Strangle is going to need 35 points up, or 50 points down. No, not looking great, but plenty of times I've seen it hit later in the day, so if you're going to trade it, kind of comes with the territory that you got to sit through some heat a lot of times. I love the fast ones as well, but NASDAQ just cannot stay green here. Is that what you do all day, M. Thomas? If a trade goes against you, you just say fake news. Fake news. All right, let's get some movement. I need some movement. I need some action. Okay, we're seeing a little downside. S&P back to unchanged. Meta still holding above yesterday's high. Bitcoin is trading kind of near its lows. S&P going red. All right, Meta's breaking down on me a little bit here. Banks are coming down kind of hard. All right, I'm going to get out of Meta here. All right, now our strangle needs a down move. $35 points down. Should do it. Gonna need lows of day, 3 lows of day. Who wants to be the Elmo sacrifice? Well, you gonna do that for the team? I bet some Elmos would have been printing there for about 40 minutes or so. But then you get one of these out of nowhere. We just dropped, let's see, about 25 points in the last 10 minutes. Which, based on how wide you could have got, man, that may not have been that big of an issue. Let's go. Get some legs. Let's just get this over with. No, I mean I've looked into it. I've looked at Spot Gamma and one other one I can't remember, but no, I've not found any. I've really not found any value in it. Kind of like any other level. Works 50% of the time, and all that really matters is how you manage risk around it. So to me, it's just extra noise. VIX, a little bounce back up to 24.56. Oh yeah, I've heard all the sales pitches around it. Bitcoin breaking through lows. MSTR approaching lows. Coinbase approaching lows. Banks kind of leading the way on this sell-off. They were pretty strong all day, but See if the financials are going to lead us downhill for the rest of the day. Nasdaq's coming down with some volume. That last volume bar was about as high as the first of the day. This long strangle's taken about half my profits for the day so far. I need a move. S&P bouncing back up to unchanged. Less bounce, more one direction. Let's go. I'm getting antsy. I'm ready to go. I got to get outside. Feeling a little cooped up here today. S&P could not stay green. Got about 11 minutes till MOC. Bitcoin trying to bounce off the lows. Russell is also right at lows of day. Might take a big MOC number to get us out of this stranglehold. Open a BIC, huh? Still get, what are you, 20, 25 wide? Oh, got a Trump announcement. Something about curbing chip tariffs. Trump to rescind global chip curbs amid AI restriction debate. There you go, Moel. S&P through highs of day. NASDAQ through highs of day. Let's go. Wow, NVIDIA rocking. Up 2.5%. Let's see what other chips are moving here. Yeah, all the chips are ripping. Attaboy, Trump Daddy. Way to come through. Way to come through for the strangle. Push, push, push. Well, nice job. Way to take one for the team. I like that about you. Not there yet, though. We need a little bit more. Up 22%. Mine's trading at 19. I need 23.65. Was that the big announcement that we've been waiting for, or is that something else? Let's see, is that just a statement or is he talking? must have just been a statement. I don't see any live feeds coming through. What is this pullback? I need some follow through. Oh, so close. So close. Of course, Naughty Dog's hit. He probably prayed for himself again. Three 3,000%. All right, a little dip. We got 4.5 minutes till MOC. Trump was like, listen, JP, you're not, let me show you how to move the market, okay? You just stop your presser. Let me show you how to do it. Oh, let's see. We got up to SPX got up to about 56.54. Man, about 5 points higher would have hit profit target for me. Just missed it. Let's see if we got one more push. Well, my meta calls would be looking good right about now if I didn't get squeezed out of those. Quite the move in NVIDIA. And every other chip stock. AVGO, MU, AMD. Ooh, AMD. Well, we're still only back at 100. I need 107 for the butterfly, but still have 2 days. AMD is almost green. As far as the butterfly. See if we can get one more push for MOC. I need above 56.55. Man, I may have been like 2 points away in SPX from hitting my profit target on that move. Either way, it did not hit. Netflix hit a new all-time high on that push. Got up to 1164. MOC in a little over a minute. Let me turn on my volume. So you guys can hear it. S&P and NASDAQ both pushed up to yesterday's highs where they turned around. All right, MOC incoming. Wow, what a reversal. 1.5 billion sell side. All right, well, I need 55.65 if we're going to go down. Wow, what a reversal. Strangle right back to center. So Naughty Dog hit his profit target. Anybody else? Yeah, that is unfortunate. Big reversal in NVIDIA as well. Butterflies, way too cheap for Mahomes. S&P and NASDAQ came back down and kind of touched unchanged area. Do they have another run in them? That would be quite a move. If we can push through highs of day, I don't see it happening, but I've seen stranger things. Be interested to see what Google does the next couple of days, if it's going to continue falling or just have that one-day little blip. Moel, did you buy some? How far out? How many days to expiration? Oh, short term. All right, less than 5 minutes. Hey, fully loaded diaper, if you can hear me. It's the little show chat, upper right-hand corner. Got it? Okay, cool. Welcome. Welcome to your first live stream. All right, we got 3.5 minutes to go, and we need SPX to make a 30-point move. Anything above 35 for me will be less than a max loss. If you hear any background noise, especially on the recording of this live stream. Got some construction going on. It's almost finished, thank goodness. Okay, getting a little bouncy. 2.5 minutes. We can do it. I think we can do it. Push through highs of day. Can we do it? Less than 2 minutes. Well, the long strangle looks to be a loser. The good news is I only did one lot, so I can live with it. Nvidia's bouncing back a little bit after a pullback. AMD back up to highs of the day. Same with MU. Less than a minute. Up to 56.35, right at my call strike. So trying to get out of max loss territory. 10 seconds. Nope. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. There's the bell. Looks like the final is 56.31 and change. 56.31.12. All right, all. Not a bad FOMC day except for the long strangle. Everybody have a good night. As far as day trading goes, let me double check. I think it's Chad. Tomorrow is the 8th. Yeah, Chad will be streaming live at the market open. And then we'll be back for our normally scheduled power hour tomorrow afternoon. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Cheers.